Iburu, Iboya, Ibuche, everybody in Cyberlands, your fair Babalao, at least I hope so. Omodung, Odileke, coming at you with another great video. This particular video was from, let me make sure I get this right, from Candy, from YouTube, on the concepts of Iroson Irete, or Iroson Ate, right? There is a Pataki that goes with this, but it's a little short. But it's very strong, very significant. So I think before we talk about the Pataki, I want to kind of understand, or I want to give a general understanding, a perspective from one Babalao to the world. And Irosun Ate. Irosun Ate is a sign that is very much tied to the spiritual belief system of the person. A person with this sign, whether they're a Babalao, whether it's their Awofaka, Ikofa, it doesn't matter. Irosongate highlights the inability for someone to maintain their strength of their faith, their spirituality, their ability to truly align themselves with their destiny. Not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that somebody with this sign is exactly like that, but it speaks of those challenges that person is either walking, has walked, or is gonna walk, right? Because Ifa doesn't talk time and space. It speaks to you on what is the reason in Odun is being reflected in your life. And I think it's very important for us to kind of navigate through that a little bit. This is the reason why in Irosongate, it begins to tell us about some of the aspects of how our character needs to be. Because in Irosongate, there are things that we have to remember. Irosongate is a good-hearted person, but a person that is willing to give and sacrifice for other people, which there's not that there's anything wrong with this, but when this sign is reflective, the first thing Ifa is telling us is to ensure that we understand ourselves spiritually, we understand what our journey looks like, and when we take that journey, we don't necessarily need to bring a lot of baggage with us. Let me explain. In Irosongate, we talk about the aspects of lending money, right? Or getting into contracts or working with a business partner where now your money is tangled up with somebody else because it's telling you that your business ventures or your money will not come back with a benefit. It will not reap benefits at the end. If anything, it's going to remove something from your life, some form of blessing that should be there already. The other thing it tells you is be careful about people taking advantage of you, which you notice that with the money situation, they very much come hand in hand. So that's why in Irosongate, you got to toughen yourself up a little bit because when things hit the fan, Irosongate begins to lose their faith in what they believe in. Where's their ori taking them? Where's their heart? Right? And that is something in Irosongate that's very important for us to remember because when it's all said and done, Irosongate has to be careful on how they are delivering themselves into this world, right? How they are lending that hand. Because one of the biggest sacrifices the Irosongate will find themselves doing is for their children, which is not a bad thing. In Irosongate, the mother has to lend and be the soft hand. The male figure with the children has to be the disciplinarian, not the friend, right? But the person that's going to lead these people to be good, productive people in society. That is the purpose of the male, and that is the purpose of the female in Irosongate when it comes to the children. But then when we also start to kind of see that in Irosongate, we talked about that inability to maintain that spiritual strength. When things start to go wrong, they begin to blame Orula, blame the Orishas. Things are not working right. My house is in shambles and I don't know what to do. And are these things that I have, are they working, not working? And you begin to fall into some of these unfortunate mental breaks that is not necessarily true. Never abandon Ifa. because that will be your downfall. That is the ultimate osolbo in Iroson you cannot abandon. The other thing that is a taboo in Iroson is that because money is a your prosperity is typically on the fence. Either it was very hard for you to get to where you are today and now you figured it out, or you are still struggling with a prosperous type performance in your life. That's why they tell you don't jingle change in your pocket. That's a big taboo because you're calling on to the money and you're basically signaling to the energies of the world that you have it, when in true essence, you're struggling. And Irosongate gives you these little taboos. Irosongate tells you that people come to your house that are not necessarily friendly. People come to your house that don't necessarily mean you well. People will freeload off of you. There will be leeches in your life, and you got to be careful with that. That will bring chaos into your home, and you got to always remember that. So, I say these things because I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand Irosongate when it comes down to that perspective. And I want people to understand Irosongate because Irosongate, when we begin to follow some of these characteristics, right, that Ifa tells us to do, don't lend money, don't tie your money with business partners, be careful about having too much of a soft heart and allowing others to live off of you, you sacrificing the things that you need in order to give to someone else. Irosongate is just telling you you don't have that wiggle room, you don't have that play. Your home is your sanctuary. Your home cannot be shared with others. You can't let other people stay with you. Your children are your blessings, and they will bring you further blessings. But the feminine nature, in this case, the female who has Irosongate, has to be able to ensure that they do not, um, they're not, they're not necessarily going to be the disciplinarian. Now, if there's no male figure in the house, then the person needs to play both sides, a firm hand, but a soft hand at the same time, in order to ensure that the children are getting the balance that they need. So a lot of tricks and trades, right, to the sign of Irosun Irete. And I say that because it's important for you to understand your breakdown. A lot more things that go into this. But Irosongate, if there's one thing I can tell you, do the ebbo of your sign. And Irosongate, this very simple pataki that talks about how the hunter obtained the animals, begins to teach us the abilities and the necessity of the ebbo. Right? In this particular sign, Obatala, in this Pataki, ordered that the snake, the monkey, and the cobra be brought to him. And he told the hunter to perform this task and to perform a cleansing, but the hunter didn't do it. Then the hunter went off and he looked for the animals. He couldn't find them anywhere. And afterwards, he went to Orunmila and told Orunmila, Buruboya Busheshe. And Orunmila told him, weren't you told that you needed to do a cleansing? You won't be able to find what you seek, what with the heavy burden that you are carrying, with the negativity that you have on top of you, because you don't even realize that that is on top of you, and you didn't even perform the ebbo. So the hunter, listening to the advice of Orunmila, now performs the ebbo and manages to find the animals. So, and when you look at this pataki, a very simple pataki, it begins to tell us the necessity, right, of the ritual, of the ebbo, of believing in the orishas when they tell us to do something, and having faith. And sometimes it's even that blind faith that needs to lead us to where we need to go to. Right? We gotta, in order to achieve the desired outcome in Iroson Irete, we gotta be able to believe and we gotta be able to do what is told. So I leave you with this. Do your ebbo. I leave you with this. Irosongate needs guidance. I leave you with this. Be firm in your conviction of your spirituality and don't let anyone shake that from you. Because in Irosongate, you will have those who will challenge your spiritual faith. So with that said, I leave you with that. And as always, la.regla.de.ifa@gmail.com will get you to me if you need anything. And with that said, love the request. Thank you for subscribing. Give me the like, give me the subscribe, give me all that good jazz. Share. Always great messages in Ifa that are applicable to everyone. Even if Irosonate is not something that is resonating in your life right now, in your path, it's something that we can look at and say, man, there are people that need to follow certain rules, certain universal laws that Ifa dictates for us. So with that said, Iburu, Iboya, Ibucheche Cyberland, and you guys have a great one.